The Raiders, who are riding a 3-game losing streak, head to Indianapolis. What is it going to take to stop the bleeding and get a W? We talk about that plus more on Friday's edition of the Locked On Raiders podcast for October 3rd, 2025.
You are Locked On Raiders, your daily Las Vegas Raiders podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome in, Raider Nation, to another edition of the Locked On Raiders podcast. Thank you so much for making the show your first listen of the day. We definitely appreciate you. If you're catching the show wherever you find your favorite podcast, or you're checking us out by way of the YouTube page, you know we appreciate both. Show grows each and every day because of your support and the great job that my man Ari does behind the scenes, making sure we look good and sound good each and every day. We shout him out. We appreciate him. He's on Twitter at Ari Produces. You can hit me up as well at your boy Q254. And we got the Locked On Raider podcast voicemail line for you, 707-654-4693. We'll get back to your calls and texts in segment number 3 as we close out the show and close out the week. We didn't have any on Thursday. That was a crossover edition, so we never have any calls or texts. It's all about the Raiders and their opponent, and obviously this week it was the Indianapolis Colts. So we talked storylines, we talked matchups, and we talked about path to victory. So now we'll get back to your calls and texts, segment number 3. Segment number 2, I'll give my own keys to victory. I do it each and every Friday or the final show before the game, so we'll do it today. Segment number 2, what is it going to take for the Raiders to go to Indianapolis and pick up a W and stop the 3-game losing streak? We'll talk about that in segment number 2. Here in segment number 1, news and notes of the day. We'll go ahead and jump right into it after I tell you about the title sponsor of the show, which is Mazda. Like the players, Mazda sweats every detail. When you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. So off top, want to go over the injury report for the Raiders and the Colts. And, of course, we didn't do this on Thursday's show just because we had the crossover edition, so there was no time to go ahead and jump into it. So we will get another injury report later on this afternoon, probably around 4:15 Pacific time, give or take a few minutes or so. But wanted to go over the Wednesday and Thursday injury report for both the Raiders and the Colts. So off top, for the Raiders, Brock Bowers, obviously he's been dealing with a knee injury since week 1. Limited on Wednesday, did not participate on Thursday. That stood out to me, right? Because we've all been wondering, is there a time that the Raiders may just say, hey, you know what, go ahead and sit it down a couple weeks and get better? I don't know, but all of a sudden for it to trend downwards and backwards, to me, that was a big deal. So limited on Wednesday for Brock Bowers, did not participate on Thursday's practice. So we'll see what happens. And look, Brock is a guy that probably only needs to practice once a week. So I'm not saying that he's going to be out, but when it's trending that way, usually it'd be like does not participate on Wednesday, maybe not even to participate on Thursday, and then goes on Friday. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he's a participant and he's out there on Sunday against the Colts because I do think he's going to be needed. Brandon Jackson, the linebacker, foot injury, limited on Wednesday, also did not participate on Thursday. Tight end Michael Mayer, dealing with the concussion, limited on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. I don't like the way this is trending. I'll just tell you straight up. I thought that he would be back by now and closer, but when Pete Carroll spoke with us on Wednesday, it kind of seemed like he may have been a little bit further away than they expected. Again, we'll get another update later on this afternoon, but so far limited, not cleared from concussion protocol yet. Wide receiver Justin Shorter had an illness on Wednesday, so he did not participate, was limited on Thursday. Cam Richardson, hamstring injury, full on Wednesday, full on Thursday. Looks like he's good to go. Cornerback Eric Stokes, this is a big deal. He's been actually quietly having a really good season. Knee injury, limited on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. Really interested to see if he's going to be able to go. If he can't go, Darian Porter will get the start. And I'm not upset about Darian Porter getting the start, but Caillou Blue Kelly's been struggling, and I thought that maybe Porter was going to get in there for Caillou. Now he might have to go in there for Stokes, leaving Caillou out there, even though he's on the struggle bus. And then a late addition as well, Max Crosby, knee injury, not listed on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. So definitely something to pay attention to. Both those guys, the bookends. Brock Bowers did not participate on Thursday. Max Crosby, limited. Both guys dealing with knee injuries. For the Colts, they have a pretty long list of injured guys as well. Zaire Franklin, their linebacker, ankle injury, DNP on Wednesday, full participant on Thursday, so he looks like he's good to go. Another guard, Matt Goncalves, toe injury. I'm sure I said that wrong. Limited on Wednesday, full on Thursday. Looks like he's good. Running back Tyler Goodson, groin injury, DNP on Wednesday and DNP on Thursday. Xavier Howard, he retired, so he's not playing. Cornerback Kenny Moore, this is a big deal. This is a big loss if he can't go. Achilles injury, DNP on Wednesday, DNP on Thursday. Also, wide receiver Alec Pierce, concussion. He was a full participant on Wednesday and Thursday, so he should be good to go for sure. Safety Daniel Scott, knee injury, DNP, Wednesday and Thursday. So the safety Daniel Scott looks like he could be trending to not playing. Defensive end Tyquan Lewis, oblique injury, not listed on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. Wide receiver Michael Pittman, hamstring, not listed on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. It's another big deal right there. Michael Pittman, as I did a little bit of research, that was a surprise, and all the people that cover the Colts were like, wait, hold on, where did this come from? So that's something to pay attention to. And then the defensive tackle, Grover Stewart, rest day, limited on, or not listed on Wednesday, did not participate on Thursday. So he should be good to go. Again, if it's just a rest day, what it looks like it is, then they should be good to go. And we'll find out again officially coming up later on this afternoon. So that was the injury report, and it's very interesting, and it's kind of long for it being only week 5, but you know how it goes in the National Football League. Also, wanted to pass along this little nugget here from Pro Football Focus, and I tell you all the time that PFF is not my end-all, be-all. I go there and I'll check it out and just kind of confirm what I already know, but I was interested in what they thought of the offensive line and the performance that the Raiders had against the Bears on Sunday. So PFF still has the Raiders' offensive line ranked 29th in the league. We know there's only 32 teams, so obviously that's not very good. They said the projected Week 5 starters, left tackle Stone Forsythe, left guard Dylan Parham, center Jordan Meredith, right guard Jackson Powers Johnson, and right tackle DJ Glaze. But they went on to say the Raiders' offensive line allowed just one pressure with no sacks or quarterbacks hit across 22 pass plays, posted a 97.7 PFF pass blocking efficiency rate, which ranked first in the NFL this past week. Obviously, they're talking about Week 4 against the Bears. JPJ returned to action at right guard and was not beaten once against Chicago, leading to an 85.4 PFF pass blocking grade, which ranks 6th in the NFL in Week 4. Best player, Colton Miller. Miller's 87.9 PFF pass blocking grade this season ranks 2nd among all offensive tackles. Obviously, he's out. He's on IR. He's going to miss at least 4 games. Not 4 weeks. He's going to miss at least 4 games. So we had an opportunity to catch up with Stone Forsythe in the Raiders locker room. Matter of fact, this was on Wednesday when we got an opportunity to get in there. And he started off talking about his opportunity to get to start at the left tackle spot in place of Colton Miller.
I mean, it's definitely a big role to fill, but I mean, I put myself in a situation, like it's kind of pressure is a privilege. So I look at it as an opportunity to just kind of step up and fill his role in.
When you look at film of how, I know you were on the last play, you look at film of how the line did in general last week, were you pretty pleased with how you guys are progressing?
Yeah, everybody's rolling. JPJ came in, played good. Dylan good with his points. I mean, Jordan's good with the points. Dylan's good with his singles, combos. Everybody's rolling. We have the right checks on. Pass pro is good too. So,
what's the process like trying to get on the same page with the rest of the offensive linemen?
I mean, I've kind of been in this system for 3 years with Pete up in Seattle, so everything's kind of almost the same. So it hasn't really been too much of a learning curve. I mean, just working with DP, that might just be a little learning curve, just how he hits combos, but everything's good. I mean, I've been working with these guys for a little bit now. So
is it more of a communication thing or technique type thing?
I mean, we got our communications pretty simple, so everyone's on the same page. Like, you can throw Dalton in there, and everyone's good to go.
How beneficial is it that you have been here for a month, working with these guys, and getting a reinforcement of this system?
Very beneficial. I mean, it can't not help out, so, I mean, it's good to go, yeah.
So just a quick minute right there. He doesn't have a lot to say, but Stone Forsythe, he's going to have a lot to say with his play coming up on Sunday. He gets the first opportunity to hold it down for Colton Miller, and he may be there multiple weeks, right? But if he doesn't do a good job, maybe you see a guy like Charles Grant get in there sooner rather than later. I don't think Charles Grant, the tackle out of William & Mary, is ready to go yet, but if Stone Forsythe can't do what he needs to do, then he might be forced into action. You might actually see Charles Grant in that Thayer Munford role as well, when Thayer used to come in and be that extra offensive lineman and just make him eligible, but he'd stay in there to block. You might see Charles Grant do that as well, be that 6th offensive lineman just to help out with Stone. And, you can hear in Stone's voice, feels very comfortable. I've been in the system for 3 years, but as Lincoln Kennedy pointed out to me, he hasn't been in the system 3 years. He might have been with Pete Carroll for 3 years, but he hasn't been with Chip Kelly for 3 years. So there's that. We'll see how quickly he can get on the same page, see how the Raiders can help him out as well, get comfortable along that offensive line. Matter of fact, that's going to be one of the big keys to victory, what the Raiders are going to have to do. And we'll talk about that coming up in segment number 2 of today's Locked On Raiders podcast. Before we get to that, though, I do want to tell you about a couple great sponsors we have here on the show, including Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood the neighborhood. They're the places that become an extension of a home. Whether it's a sports bar dedicated to your team's fan base, the spot with the best wings in town for game day, or that beloved local chain that's been rooted in your community for years, these businesses are what bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Matter of fact, we got Area 15, which is really cool. And it's funny, that place is so cool that you could tell your friends that are coming to town, hey, man, you need to go to Area 15 if you're going to go somewhere. And I get hit up with that question all the time. And I never know a good answer. I never have a good answer because I don't know what everyone likes to do. But then I realize there's so many different things to do at Area 15. That's like your one-stop shop. You could pick your adventure at Area 15. So I actually watched the Super Bowl there a couple years ago. It's a really cool place to go. So definitely, if you're coming to Vegas, check out Area 15. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/LockedOnNFL to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. I also want to tell you about Mazda and Mazda moving the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep the game moving forward. This week's moments that move the game forward, I got to say, man, is Ashton Genty and that 64-yard touchdown run that he had. And I realize that the Raiders lost the game, and that's unfortunate, but everyone had been talking about Genty, and he's not breaking out, and he's not running like he should, and maybe he's not worthy of the number 6 overall pick. When he hit that sideline, everyone knew he was gone. Kirk Morrison on the call said, he gone. Before he even broke the tackle of the safety that was trying to get him to the ground, he said, he gone, because that's exactly what he was. He was gone. And once he was in his bag and he started getting those legs and those thighs going, there was a wrap. He was going to be straight to the house. He moved the game forward for the Silver and Black. And matter of fact, moves the offense forward to the next week, just because that's now a part of his arsenal, something that he absolutely can do now that he's starting to get into the zone that he needs to be in. So when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. Just like that, there's more to every highlight. There's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, Raider Nation, here we go. Segment number 2 of today's Locked On Raiders podcast. Want to jump into keys to victory. What is it going to take for the Silver and Black to go to Indianapolis, have an early West Coast kickoff time, 10 a.m. Pacific time kickoff, and get a victory? Indianapolis 3-1, Raiders are 1-3. But as I said last week, they got to stop the bleeding. They really can't afford to go on a 4-game losing streak. So I'm going to start with the offense because we spend a lot of time on the offense and the offensive line now that Stone Forsythe is in and Colton Miller is out. Chip Kelly has to call a game that's going to assist the offensive line. Give them a chance to come together. We talked to Chip Kelly on Thursday, and he said that it does affect his play calling, but there's things that he can do, and he's going to have to do that, whether that's get the ball out of Geno's hands a lot quicker, allow Stone to have the opportunity to get more comfortable, but trust and believe the Colts are going to test him. So Chip's going to have to be responsible for making sure that there's not so longer progressions in the routes that are being ran, that Geno doesn't have to hold the ball as long as he's been holding the ball, because he's actually been holding the ball for over 3 seconds, and so that's basically an eternity when you're in the NFL. So he's going to have to get the ball out of his hands quickly, whether that's dumping it off to the running back, quick little check downs, whether it's some screens. I'd love to see some screens anyway. Whatever the case may be, it's got to be the quick game, especially early on. When Stone gets a little bit more comfortable, or when they're able to establish a little bit extra help, maybe they bring in Charles Grant as that 6th offensive lineman that I was talking about, then maybe you take some shots. But I think this is going to have to be a game where Geno's going to have to show the ultimate patience, and Chip's going to have to call it like the ultimate patience. Now, the run game has to be featured. Genty, Mostert, Chip Kelly confirmed that Raheem Mostert will be up again. He did a really good job last week against the Bears, so he said he'll be up again, so he'll be playing. He'll be backing up Ashton Genty. The run game has to be there. Now, look, a lot of the success the Raiders had running the ball was to the left side, which is to Colton Miller's side. When they didn't have success when Stone came in, it was to the left side, right? So they've got to find a way to get comfortable and get that running game going. If it was me personally, I'd tell Genty to get behind JPJ and go from there. But that's just me, right? Again, a lot of their success came from the left side. So they're going to have an element of the run game. They could, and we've had this suggestion on the show many times, they could pass to open up the run, right? Especially with a Colts secondary that's a little suspect and beat up. Xavier Howard already retired. Kenny Moore might not be there. They may be able to pass to score and run to win. And what I mean by that is open up things early in the passing game, get some points up on the board, either be winning or be very close, and then run the ball to win the game, right? Have more runs for Genty and Mostert in the second half as opposed to even in the first half. I wouldn't have any problem if they did it like that and Chip was just really creative with Geno to boom, 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 get these quick hitters out there, right? get Brock Bowers involved. Get him involved, and hopefully he's playing. I mean, again, we'll have to go back to the injury report since he did not participate on Thursday. That's something that caught my attention. But if he is out there, get him involved early. Let the Colts know that he's going to be a threat. Even though you know that he's compromised, he's still going to be a threat. And the most important thing on the offense for the Raiders, don't turn the ball over. Geno just can't turn the ball over. Genty can't put the ball on the ground. They cannot afford to have turnovers. When the Colts win the turnover battle, they win the games. Their 3-0 start all had to do with the turnover battle. They won the turnover battle in every one of those games. The one game that they lost the turnover battle. You cannot afford to lose the ball. The Raiders have turned the ball over way too many times, especially Geno Smith leading the league in interceptions with 7. Can't do that. So the note, and I saved it for last offensively, don't turn the ball over. Defensively, you got to stop the run, right? And it's funny, I said pass the score and run to win. That's what the Colts want to do. That's what Shane Steichen has done, right? If you go back and look at all the carries that Jonathan Taylor's had, he's had the majority of his carries in the second half because they're doing that. Pass the score, run to win. So the Raiders have to establish that they're going to stop the run whenever they run and make them one-dimensional. Make Daniel Jones beat him with his arm because I'll take the chances. If Daniel Jones is throwing the ball around the yard, not saying he's not a capable quarterback, but I'll take the chances of him throwing the ball, putting it in harm's way, and letting the Raiders go make a play. Now, it's up to the Raiders to go make the play. But if Jonathan Taylor is breaking off some big runs here and there and consistently moving the chains by the ground game, it could be a long day at the office for the Raiders. Now, I love what they were able to do against the Bears in the run game. They had 2 yards rushing at halftime. The Bears did. So the Raiders did a really good job stopping the run. They got to get back to that. And they've done a good job all season except for that Washington game. And they didn't do anything good in that Washington game. So I guess at this point we could just kind of throw it out the window and say that was just an awful game for many different reasons. But they've got to stop the run. You also have to have an answer for their tight end, their rookie tight end, Tyler Warren. He's a dude. He's putting up Brock Bowers numbers when Brock was a tight end rookie, right? And we all know what he did. He had historical numbers. But Tyler Warren is on pace to either do just as well as Brock, if not do better. And look, the tight ends, I think, could be a problem for the Raiders. The middle of the field is always a problem for the Raiders. The linebackers that the Raiders have aren't necessarily the ones that I think are going to be great in coverage against a tight end. But the Raiders got to figure that out. Who's going to be the guy who's going to slow Tyler Warren down? That is a very nice target for Daniel Jones, just like Brock Bowers was a nice target for any quarterback that the Raiders had his rookie year. And obviously is a great target right now. He's just a little compromised. So you have to pay attention to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren will beat you. And even last week, he picked up a touchdown by the ground game. He lined up as the fullback in the backfield and ran one in. So they can use him in so many different ways, just like the Raiders try to use Brock Bowers in so many different ways. Got to watch out for that tight end, Tyler Warren. And then again, I mentioned it, the Raiders can't turn over the ball offensively. They must create a couple turnovers. They have to. They have to be, I would say, +2 in the turnover battle. I think this is going to be a very tough game. I don't feel comfortable about the Raiders winning this game. I'll tell you straight up, even on my radio show on Thursday when me and Ari were doing our NFL picks, I said I picked the Colts, and then he picked the Colts. So I was like, well, we can't both have the Colts. So I ended up going with the Raiders. But this is probably the least confident I've felt all year long picking the Raiders to win a game. I think this Colts team is a lot better than any of us expected when the season started, and they're sitting there 3-1, easily could be 4-0. So you got to create a couple turnovers. +2. The Raiders need to be +2 in the turnover battle. If they're +2, I feel like they'll win this game. If Ashton Genty gets 20 to 25 touches, I think they'll win this game. They don't turn over the ball, obviously, same thing, right? And again, if you have to pass the score and run to win, I'm good with that as well. But that's what you got to do offensively and defensively. Special teams, oh my goodness, it's got to be so much better. Normally I just say, hey, Daniel Carlson, do your thing. AJ Cole, do your thing, cool. No, special teams has got to be so much better. This is the first year that the special teams has not looked good. Kick coverage has got to be better. Stop giving the opponent so many such great field position on kick returns. Stop that. And then the kick returns need to be better. And I know that, Dylan Lobby's been doing all right. And in the last kick return he had and in that last drive against the Bears was pretty good, put the Raiders in solid position, but it's got to be better and more consistent. The Raiders got to get good field position in the kick returns and even punt returns. Like they started one of their possessions at the 2-yard line, the Bears punter, and that was just a good punt, right? I mean, I don't blame Trey Tucker for letting the ball hit the ground, but it stopped. So their field position was at the 2-yard line. It's just you're not going to win that many games like that. There's not many times you're going to go on a 98-yard drive. It does happen, but not very often. And then, obviously, you got to shore up and tighten up the field goal protection. What they did on that 54-yard field goal wasn't good. The Bears said that they knew when the snap was going to happen. Fine. If they did, if the Raiders were tipping them off, fine. You got to clean that up. You have no options. You have to clean that up. So that's what I got for you. Segment number 2, today's Locked On Raiders podcast. What's on your mind? Your calls and texts will close out the show. We'll do that next.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Here we go, Raider Nation. Segment number 3 of today's Locked On Raiders podcast. Your calls and texts off that Locked On Raider podcast voicemail line, 707-654-4693. Let's start things off with a call from Raider Rod in Modesto. He's calling to talk about Chip Kelly, what he's hearing about him, and how he's feeling about him at this stage of the game. Here he is, Raider Rod in Modesto.
This is Raider Rod at Modesto. I just wanted to touch on something real quick. I've been hearing before the season. I've been hearing a lot about Chip Kelly, the Bruins' careers, and this and that. And I didn't want to look too much into it, but now I'm seeing how Chip was trying to change the stance of Genty, and I don't know. He gives me Josh McDaniels vibes, like a little narcissism in there, but I hope Chip is not our downfall, man. And I really hope he just focuses on the plays, not the players, and get this offense going, man. But give me your thoughts on what you think about that, and go Raiders. Raider Rod out.
Raider Rod, thanks for the call. Appreciate you. And there's no doubt when he was the head coach of Philly, he was very controlling. He was worried about guys' sleep time. Like, he had a monitor on them. He had a monitor on what they were eating. I mean, he was involved in everything. When they went to the bathroom, he knew about it. Like, he was all involved. I don't think it's that controlling. I don't think he could be that controlling as the offensive coordinator. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that he's that much involved. And I know, what you're saying about Ashton Genty and his stance. The good thing is he's back to being in the stance that makes him comfortable, right? Regardless of how it came about, who suggested it, who wanted it, he was back. So hopefully he continues to just do what makes him comfortable. And as Pete Carroll said the other day when I asked him, he loved it. He loved the fact that he was back in his stance. So I think that they'll be fine with that moving forward. Hopefully we don't see too much more coming from any issues coming from Chip Kelly's guys. But I don't think it's as bad as it was when he was the head coach of Philly. But thanks so much for the call. Definitely appreciate you. Up next, got a text from Raider Jason in the 304. Hey, Q, it's Raider Jason from the 304. Here's a condensed review of the Bears game in first quarter of the season. The Bears game, 1, Max wrecks the game and they wasted it. Genty had a breakout game and Geno gave it away. 2, that's bad Geno being reckless with the ball and staring down receivers. I've seen that dude play a lot of football. This is one of the worst stretches that I can remember. If he's still in there somewhere, we need good Geno back. A strong arm, calculated passer with precision accuracy. Now, for the first quarter of the season, 1, the offense was inept or pathetic. The offensive line has to pick up their game. Play calling's been a complete disappointment. And 2, the defense is pretty good. 3, special teams is terrible. A 3-game losing streak going into a place they never win is not a good precursor. I sincerely hope they can turn it around. As always, love the show. Just win, baby, and go Raiders. That's Raider Jason in 304. Look, when you're 1-3, you're not going to have a lot of positive things to write home about. It's just the reality of it, right? The Raiders should be 2-2. There's plenty of good stuff that they've put out there, but not enough consistently. That's the biggest thing. You're always looking for that C word, consistently. I talk about it all the time to the point where people get tired of hearing it. Yeah, we know, Q. Well, look, that's what it's all about. Who's Geno going to be consistently as a quarterback? What's the offensive line going to look like consistently? How's that defense going to play consistently? Like, it always goes back to the same C word. It's always about consistency. And the Raiders have not done that. That's why they're 1-3. And as you mentioned, going to a place where they don't win. I don't feel good about this game. I really don't. But, there's times when the Raiders will surprise everybody. So I'm hoping that this is it. They need to stop the bleeding, not have a 4-game winning streak going into the Tennessee Titans game. I'd love to see them get a dub on Sunday and then come home and have the Tennessee Titans and have an opportunity to go on a winning streak and win 2 in a row, and then, boom, they're back there at 500. But thanks so much for the text. Definitely appreciate you. Up next, got a call from Logan from PA. He's calling to talk about the loss of Colton Miller, what it means, and what he's starting to realize about this Raiders team. Here's Logan from PA.
Hey, Q, this is Logan from PA. Colton Miller news, dagger in the heart, man. I think we're realizing that, and I'm a person that, remember, I predicted 10 wins. I think we're realizing this team's further away than we thought. And it's going to be really interesting when the draft rolls around if we're thinking more offensive line, cornerback, or quarterback. I feel like Pete Carroll, it's going to be real hard to get him off of Geno Smith. We'll see how Geno plays the rest of the year. It's really tough to evaluate when our offensive line is playing so bad. So it's only going to get worse. And Colton might miss the rest of the year. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, it looks like we're heading for another 6-win type season with we're evaluating rookies and young players. So, I mean, Raider Nation, just buckle up. We're not heading to the playoffs. We're 1-3. Not going to happen. We just can hope that we can see some better football than what we saw the last 2 weeks, which have been really frustrating. If we can at least see some competitive football, steps in the right direction. Let's get Jack Besh out on the field. Like, come on, man. And if we're not going to compete, and if you're not going to sign Jacoby to an extension, then please trade Jacoby. If he's not part of the future, and we're not going to the playoffs this year, then trade him.
Logan, thanks for the call. Appreciate you. And yeah, man, Colton Miller, losing him for at least 4 games is all bad. And honestly, it's probably more likely more games than that. It's a huge blow for sure. I'm still going to stick with my 8-win season prediction that I had. As I mentioned, and I know Raider Nation didn't like it and was upset about it. Look, it's hard to win in the National Football League. And when you won 4 games, obviously you've got a lot of room that you gotta overcome. You got a lot to build. You got a lot to do to build this team up. And we all knew, at least I knew, it wasn't going to be overnight. I didn't think they were going to have that overnight success where it's like they go from 4 wins to 12. I just didn't think that was realistic. And now you're seeing how difficult it is, and you're seeing where the holes in the Raiders team is. And I definitely believe that, the Raiders will be looking at, some offensive linemen for sure early in the draft next year, right? I think the quarterback obviously has got to be a priority at some point, right? I mean, there's a lot of areas that the Raiders need to go ahead and address in the upcoming draft and the upcoming offseason. But the thing is, you're only in week 5. The upcoming draft is nowhere near. So, and obviously we won't talk about that for a long time, but hopefully the Raiders get it together and there's more to talk about than a potential draft. Hopefully we're talking about a team that's putting together a couple-game winning streak for sure. But thanks for the call, Logan. Definitely appreciate you. Just got time for a couple more. Text from Marcus in L.A. So what's up, Q? It's Marcus from L.A. here. I know it's a Band-Aid on a larger problem, but how much do you think Geno wearing a visor would cut down the defense reading his eyes? Are quarterbacks able to wear shaded or reflective visors? Just a thought while we try to get the rest of our pieces coordinated. Maybe it would help, though. Marcus out. Go Raiders. Yeah, they could wear it if he wants to. I don't think it's going to change anything. I mean, the fact that he's just staring them down anyway, and I know you can't technically see his eyes with the visor, but they can pretty much guess by looking at the way his helmet's, where he's looking. And I don't think anyone thinks that Geno's doing a bunch of no-look passes or looking guys off. I mean, I think Geno just needs to stop making bad decisions. I think that's how you fix the big problem when Geno turned the ball over. He needs to stop making bad decisions. It's just that quick. But thanks for the text. I do appreciate you. Up next, got a call from Eric, the Rockin' Raider. He's calling to ask about the crossover edition. Also speaks on how the Raiders played last week outside of Geno and his turnovers. Here's Eric, the Rockin' Raider.
Hey, Q. This is Eric, the Rockin' Raider in Phoenix. Just got done listening to your crossover Thursday edition with the Colts guy. A question. I always listen to the crossover edition. Obviously, I listen to every episode. It's my first listen of the day. You are always the person following the other broadcasters. So the other person asks questions and you answer it. Wondering if that's always by design, if you're not comfortable in the role of being the person running the crossover edition, or if you prefer the role of the second place part of that. Just always curious with that. I was in broadcasting once upon a time, went to broadcasting school, and that part of it fascinates me. So if you could help with that, that would be great. Also, Q, I think our team looked a lot better last week, minus Geno Smith, minus the final score and the blocked field goal. I'm encouraged by Ashton. I'm encouraged by our defense. I just hope we can get back on track. I'll be there for the Titans game a week from Sunday. I'll definitely come see you at the Torch. But it'd sure be nice to see you with a 2-3 record, Q. Keep up all the great work. I'd love to hear that interview question about how you guys run the interviews. And thanks for everything you do, Q. Eric the Rockin' Raider in Phoenix, out.
Eric, man, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate you. And, yeah, I think the Raiders definitely look better, right? The ground game, offensive line, blocking, obviously the way the defense and Max Crosby played, that was incredible. But now, the offensive line is compromised. Colton Miller is out. That's another situation. How will Stone Forsythe, how will he fit in? Will he fit in, right? Or do they have to go in another direction? So that's something. Geno sustaining drives, it's an issue that they have to work out, and they got to figure it out. As far as the crossover goes, yeah, I'm absolutely comfortable. Leading or driving is what we call it. But, yeah, I'm super comfortable. I drive all the shows that I do, whether it's my show on Raider Nation Radio 920 where I'm solo bolo, or even on game night on ESPN Radio where I'm the driver of the show. I just always make it easier on the other person because they kind of treat it like their own show. And since Ari produces the YouTube page for me, I literally have to do it, then send it to Ari. He'd have to produce it, then give it to them. So what we're doing is we're cutting out a certain step for them, right? And so we customize it. Ari customizes it to fit our YouTube page, but it just makes it easier on who we're talking with if they're able to host it and then they're able to just download it and upload it to what they want to do and kind of treat it like their own show. So basically, it's like I'm the away team. Yep, the away team. Yeah, the away team like 17 times out of the season. Because normally, if you're the home team, you would host it or you would drive it, as we talk about. And then when you're the away team, the other person hosts it. But like I said, I normally do. But I did earlier this year. Matter of fact, the first week of the season against the Patriots, and the Patriots were the home team. But Nick Cattles, I actually drove that one. So yeah, believe me, I'm comfortable doing anything. I don't care. It don't make no difference to me. We have a lot of fun regardless. So thanks so much for that. I do appreciate you. We'll close out with a text from Johnny Raider. Hey, Q. Johnny Raider here, just texting in regarding to the person who texted in about possibly sitting Brock Bowers until he's completely healthy. Just wanted to let you and Raider Nation know that he's got better stats through the first 4 this year than he did last year, including yards per catch. I'm just saying, hopefully we pull together soon. Go Raiders. That's Johnny Raider. Yeah, you're right about that. His numbers are actually better, but I don't think any of us believe that he's as effective as he was at this time last year, right? I mean, he's got some numbers from catches, but the yards after the catch is not there. He just doesn't have that same explosion and ability to get off the air and off the ground and go up and catch it and high point a ball. He just doesn't have that right now because he's not fully healthy. And now you see him on the injury report on Thursday where he didn't participate in practice at all. So it's definitely something to monitor, but good nuggets right there, Johnny. Definitely appreciate the text. That's going to do it for today's show. So hopefully we're talking about a victory on Monday. Hopefully I'm giving out game balls and we're celebrating the fact that the Raiders snapped their 3-game losing streak. But either way, we'll be here on Monday to talk about whatever happens on Sunday versus the Indianapolis Colts. So until then, Raider Nation, take care of yourself, take care of your family, love on your family. Most importantly, as always, just win, baby.